Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly tap. I'm in a silly mood, just in case you can't tell. How are you? How has your week been? Let me know in the chat if you could please that you can hear me, you can see me just fine, just so I know I'm not talking to myself. I'm sitting back a little bit further away from my computer this time just because I want to be sure it's easy enough to see all of the tapping spots that we use. So let me know how you feel about that. If you like it better, what works best for you, because I want this to be like an us thing. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. And if you're back, I'm so glad you're back. Thank you for coming and spending this time with me. I have the tapping spots. I have these dots on my face. These are the areas that we'll be tapping. And there's a few that are on, underneath clothing. So I didn't put dots there. But just follow along with me if you're not sure about to do or how to be effective with it. I think you'll catch on and be solid by the end of the hour. So no worries there. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Feel free to go ahead and put in there how you're doing, what you would like to tap on as we have this time together today. I don't see any comments in there yet. So if someone could just say, hi, I can hear you, that would be fabulous. We This week has been a little bit different at EFT Universe just because we're doing our tapping challenge, our 21-day tapping challenge. Hi, Pamela. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dina. Yes, okay. Thanks, everyone. I'm glad to know that I can be heard. And it's the same every week, but I still just got to check. But yeah, so it's been different at EFT Universe just because we're doing this tapping challenge. And it's really wonderful to see people be reminded of how powerful tapping is when you do it on a regular basis. It's been really exciting for all of us, all of our team, to see the shifts that people are getting and being reminded, oh yeah, this works really well when I do it consistently. And that's human nature, right? We get used to drinking a lot of water and then we stop for some reason, and it's a habits are kind of a flow, which is why we're so excited about being able to provide a support system for everybody to utilize to remember tapping, to feel involved in tapping. So I've got you here. We've got you in the tap challenge. It's a good time. Okay, let's see. Oh, Angela, awesome. Okay. Hey, Drag. Oh, from Quebec. Hi, Hareen. Very nice to have you here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get centered and get ready to tap. So get your body into a comfortable position. And if you're noticing like sitting up, you're like, oh, my back feels so tight, like it doesn't want to sit up straight. Go ahead and allow yourself to just slouch. And we're not going to stay this way the whole hour, just for a minute or two. And if you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to hold my head up, just give into that for just this moment. We're just gonna let ourselves release and relax and take a breath and let it out. And give your body another wiggle. See if maybe you want to shift again, move into a different slightly position. Let's take another breath. And out. Feel your body beginning to center. Become just aware of the energy flow within your arms and your legs, your abdomen, through your neck, through your face. Let's go ahead and place our hands over our heart. Let's take another breath. And out. And right here, let's set the intention that We're dedicating this time to validate where we are, to give ourselves permission to feel, to allow to be supported in this community, to trust that even though we are spread out throughout the world, that we are here together in purpose, and that's meaningful and it's real and it's connective, and that there's power in that, there's strength in that, and that we all get to experience that today. We all get to benefit from that and choosing into this community together. And that as we tap today, we will find relief, we will find insights, we will find releases. And even if a specific topic isn't brought up or if it's not said exactly perfect, that's okay. That does not keep you or me or anyone from the breakthrough that they're hoping for. That our brains are smart and they're capable and they're aware of what it is that we're looking for, and it's going to jump that gap and find that solution. Okay. If you've got your eyes closed, go ahead and open them back up. And let's go ahead and begin tapping on the side of hand point. You can tap gently. Sometimes I get carried away and I get excited and I tap a little bit harder. It's not necessary. You can tap so soft because it's just registering in this area. It needs very little pressure for it to have the activation in your brain that we're looking for. If it feels good to tap harder, you're like, oh, but I feel like I'm getting something out. That's okay. But don't feel like you have to. And I wouldn't recommend doing it for a long period of time. If you find irritation tapping on a spot, say like maybe here, you're like, ooh, I don't know why, but I don't like that. Skip it. You can go to a different area. Or if you're like, oh my gosh, this one's so relieving, I don't want to move on, stay on it. You don't have to follow my sequence. Okay. I am here as a support for you. But if you're like, I think I'm going to go off on my own a little bit because I think this is going to feel better for me, do it. That thrills me. That makes me really excited when someone feels empowered to do that. So absolutely follow those instincts. Okay. And I'm going to look at the chat here. Love you too, Jackie. Okay. Benitha asking for feel centered and in alignment with higher power. Okay. And Karen, accept allowing what is happening, releasing. Okay. Oh, thank you. Open my eyes. To the side of Amanda's wonderful, cheerful t-shirt. Isn't this great? A friend got this for me. She said, I found the perfect shirt for you. And she wasn't wrong. Tapping for accepting love and kindness in our lives. Oh, accepting. Yes. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up because I feel like that's always something, a good thing to deepen. Low energy during the day. Okay. Issue with receiving love. Okay, so awesome. We've got a theme of receiving. I always love it when multiple things pop up. And allowing, receiving and allowing. Okay. Okay, tapping into health. Consistent routine. Tightness, feeling in the body. Okay. All right, we've got a bit of a list here now. So I'm going to jump back up to the top and I think I'm going to start right at the very beginning. We're just going to do a quick tap on this because I think it'll really help us get grounded. Um, and if you struggle with grounding, don't worry. I'll use a lot of different phraseology for it. I used to struggle with grounding, and honestly, sometimes I still do. So I got you if you need it to be a little bit creative. But let's tap on feeling centered and in alignment with, higher power, with the universe, with God, whatever word works for you. If the one that I'm using isn't the best one, then please do replace it with what's best for you. Okay. Even though Right now, I know I could be more centered and more connected than I currently am. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I would like to feel more centered, more grounded, more intuitive, more connected, more than I currently am, and I'm really feeling the gap, I'm going to choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I know I have the ability to be more centered, more grounded, more connected in a higher space than I'm currently in, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself with where I am right now. Accepting where I am, seeing where I want to be, wanting to be someplace different than I am, judging myself for not being there already. I acknowledge that I want to be in a better place. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. It's okay for me to want. I acknowledge the pressure I'm putting on myself to be in that space. I acknowledge the judgment that I'm putting on myself for not doing better to be in that space already. Even though I've been pressuring myself, judging myself, maybe even being mean to myself or punishing myself, I choose to right now give myself compassion. And I choose to right now give myself understanding. And I release those judgments. And I release that pushing. But if I release the pushing, I'll never get there. I'll never do it. Don't I have to push myself? Even though I may believe I have to push myself to get to where I want to go, I am open to a more pleasant truth and pathway. Permission for joy in this journey. Permission to enjoy looking for being centered. Permission to enjoy looking to be grounded. Permission to enjoy looking to be more connected. But how do I enjoy looking for that? Well, what is it that makes it not enjoyable? Is it that I have a fear that I won't find it? Is it that I have a fear I don't deserve it? Is it that I have a fear that I can't do it? Whatever it is that I discover that's keeping me from enjoying looking for centeredness, for grounding, for my connection, I release that. I release that. I renounce it. I don't want that way anymore. I choose to find joy as I learn, as I find being grounded, being centered, and being connected. And I choose to be open to the thought that it's readily available to me, that it's waiting for me, and that it wants me as much as I want it. So, this looking for each other, I'm looking for my centeredness, it's looking for me. I'm looking for this higher connection, that higher connection's looking for me. Maybe now it will be a fun game. And I like that. And as I allow myself this new way of connecting, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay. Good start. Great way to start that. Okay. And I'm going to glance back. So, acceptance, that's right. Okay. So, Karen, I'm uncertain if this allowing what is happening, I don't know if it's a positive, if it's something that's difficult that's happening. So, if you need to shift the way I tap on this, please do. I'm going to make this a little bit vague to try and capture just where everyone is on this allowing, allowing empowerment, um, allowing love, allowing compliments, allowing growth, right? Okay, so let's tap on how do I want to phrase that? Allowing more, allowing better, allowing what I want. I think that's how I'm going to phrase it. Okay. And like I said, if you've got something more specific, please change the wording in your own mind. Even though right now I feel a resistance to allowing what I want, I deeply and completely accept myself. I'm going to do a little bit of back and forth just on that. Okay. I don't accept that. That's silly. That's ridiculous that I'm struggling to accept what I want. That doesn't make any sense. I have been taught my whole life that all I'm supposed to need is the opportunity, and then bam, success. So, why is it when I have opportunity? Why is it when I have something or I'm even given what I want, I still don't feel like I can accept it? I still don't feel like I can have it. It doesn't sink in, or maybe it feels like it bounces away, or maybe it feels like it's wrong of me to accept it in some way. Even though saying this right now feels complicated and confusing, I'm choosing to trust that by doing this tapping right now, I'm going to get some great insight. And even if these words don't feel 100% true, maybe there's some percent true, even if it's 1%. And right now, that's enough. And I'll take it. Even though right now I feel a resistance to receiving, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I feel a resistance to acceptance and accepting, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I'm struggling with receiving and accepting, and it feels like something I shouldn't be struggling with, I choose right now to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Receiving and accepting. Receiving and accepting what I want. Believing that receiving and accepting what I want is easy. Believing that receiving and accepting what I want is complicated. Believing that receiving and accepting what I want is mysterious. I have feelings about my inability to receive and accept right now. I acknowledge these feelings. And even if they feel negative, even if logically I don't see any validation for them, right now I hold space for them. Right now I decide, speak up, I'm listening. And I choose to let all of it out. And even if none of it moves right now, or I don't feel any particular words or phrases or emotion, it's okay. I'm not forcing it to release right now, but I am offering space and I am offering permission. Releasing expectations. Releasing the pain surrounding receiving. Releasing the pain surrounding allowing. I wonder what my answers would be if I decided to be curious And just ask questions about this. Questions about receiving. I wonder what my answer is if I were to ask, do I get to decide if I receive or not? Do I get to decide what is allowed in my life or not? Whether or not right now I believe that's my choice, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder what would be my answer if I asked myself, have I earned, am I worthy of what I want? Do I believe that it's not allowed to come to me freely? And if it tries to come to me freely, that's wrong. And I can't accept it if it's wrong. And if that's what I believe, well, what's the answer? What do I have to do to be worthy of it? Is that clear? Belief of my worthiness to receive. Belief of my worthiness to allow. Whether or not right now I believe I'm worthy, I acknowledge the feeling and I can give myself compassion and love. But how does this help me in getting what I want? Because I'd really like to get what I want. I'd really like to have that insight, that breakthrough, whatever it is that I'm missing that would allow me to just receive, that would allow me ease. What is it that would allow me to accept things with ease? What is it that I need? What if it was as easy as a choice? I mean, I made the choice that it was hard, didn't I? Maybe I've made the choice that other people needed to let me know. Maybe I can give it a try. Maybe I can make an experiment. And all I will do is make my mind up to allow it to be easier. I'll just give myself permission and I can remind myself of that permission when opportunities come up. And that's my experiment, and I'll see if that makes a difference. allowing myself to choose, giving myself permission to try something different, giving myself permission to take a small step, giving myself permission choosing to receive, choosing to receive easily. Okay, I can try it, but what if I have feelings about it? I can choose to have feelings about it and still make the decision to let it be easy. It's okay for me to have as many feelings as I want about it. And it's okay if it's a process. It's okay if it's a learning curve. It's okay if this opens up a lot of baggage for me to let loose. As I allow myself this opportunity to try choosing differently, I accept however that looks for me. Maybe it will be mind bendingly easy, and I'll just be giddy about it and telling everyone. Maybe it's going to be a hot mess, and I'll feel confused about it, and I'll feel frustrated, and maybe I'll quit, and then I'll pick it back up, and then I'll quit again. Or maybe it will be somewhere in the middle. But however it looks, it's okay for me to give it a try. And as I choose into this, I also deeply and completely accept myself. Okay. How did that work for you? Let me know. I love the feedback because I am here for you to receive releases. So I really do want to know. Okay, going back to the chat. EFT works is that it targets stress. And it sounds like autonomic dysfunction has created a lot of stress for you, considering that you say it's been a torment. So I am inclined to say yes, that tapping can help, but help in what way? That's the question, right? But it releases stress, it calms the central nervous system. There's a lot of health benefits that occur with tapping. Um, the root of what's happening and how stress is affecting that is typically where you're going to find your answer in that. But see how you feel. Just see how you feel after today. See if that helps. Maybe keep a note of your symptoms and see. Oh, I think it was a little bit better for a day or two, and that can be a really good way for you to track that. Okay. Good, 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 good. All right. And then to answer another question, tapping underneath the eyes can feel very sensitive. Yes. So this right here can be sensitive for several reasons. One, it's right over your sinus cavity. If you've got any type of inflammation happening there, the spot can be tender. Um, it's also the point of stomach meridian, which can be it's as far as energy medicine, traditional Chinese medicine goes, this can be a very active tender spot because it can be a point of congestion very, very easily. So any point that has a lot of congested energy in it is going to be more tender. Something else to think about is you may be tapping hard. And this is just in general a sensitive area. So you can try tapping just as light as possible. I mean, really just barely touching and see if that feels better. If it doesn't, it's totally fine for you to skip that area, or you can even just hold and breathe. Touch and breathe or tab is actually something else that's been studied and proven to be effective. So you can just touch very, very lightly and then begin tapping again when we move on to the next point. So whatever feels most comfortable for you, go ahead and do that. If you want to keep tapping, even though it's sensitive, just maybe try tapping a lighter pressure. Okay, so there's been several things about health. Um, okay, not accomplishing as much, but like to get into consistent routine. So I'm feeling a little bit about not just health, but energy, like feeling good energy. Um, So let's tap that. Let's do that next. Where we're wanting to feel good in our bodies and to releasing, the heavier energies, whether it's pain, tightness, dysfunction, and wanting to increase relaxation and increase that just more grounding energy that just feels like you can chug along all day. Okay. So, to do this, I want you to focus in on your body and see where it is that you're dissatisfied with right now. And this isn't to be negative. Don't feel afraid of tapping into this. This is more of just a check in, and we're not judging it. We're just going, okay, what's the reality of how I feel right now? Does my back hurt? And I've been ignoring it because I'm scared of having back problems. I don't want to believe the truth of I'm getting older and now I'm just going to have back problems. That sort of a thing, those thoughts. It's okay. So allow it for right now. Okay, this is a safe place for those. So tune into your body, see what it is, where it is. Let's begin tapping. And before we do the setup statement, just continue to think about that area of your body. I want you to get as close to a neutral space as possible and just thoughts with it of something like, oh, hello, there you are. I see you in this particular area. And you go this far, but not beyond that. And I see that you're feeling a bit sharp today, or it's kind of a dull, whatever, or maybe it's an absence of something. Man, I really would like to feel more energetic here. I feel an emptiness of energy in my legs. I see you, legs. I see you being a little bit slow today, a little bit heavy. Okay. Even though right now I'm noticing that I have some things in my body that I don't want, and I'm lacking some things in my body that I do want. Right now, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though, body, right now, where you are, is not where I want you to be. I'm choosing to deeply and completely accept all of us anyway. I accept this space in me that isn't what I want. And I accept this space in me that's having issues right now. I also accept the fact that I have feelings about that. I accept the fact that I've come to conclusions about who I am, what it means about me, what it means about my environment, my future, my ability. Even though all of these things have been spurred along because of this place in my body, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Completely accepting my body. Completely accepting where I am right now. Acknowledging that my body is lacking some things. Acknowledging my body is holding on to some things that I would really appreciate releasing. Whatever it is that's happening in my body, I'm here for it. And I know I've been here for it as far as experiencing it. But what if I was also here for it as a support buddy? What if I felt something going on in my body and I felt empowered to help shift it? Well, I don't know how I can do that. I mean, there's millions of things happening in my body every second. I'm not aware of most of that. I don't have a lot of information about my body. I don't feel very empowered to do that. So while I'm open to it, just a little confused about how it could happen. How can I support my body? How do I have the ability to do anything to make this different? Open to possibility. I'm open to insights. Well, I wonder how this issue got there in the first place. Did it magically appear? Maybe it felt that way. But isn't it true that this is an end result? Isn't it true that this is likely a symptom of what's happening, an outcome? Well, if it's a consistent outcome, then it's got a consistent stream of something creating this outcome. Hmm. What if I could interrupt this stream? What if I could shift this outcome even by 1%? I don't know, tappers, if you've heard the quote of if a pilot took off from California flying to Hawaii and was off by, I think it's 1 or 3 degrees, I don't remember, they would miss Hawaii by over 500 miles. I wonder if I could make that big a difference with 1% shifting in my body. And any of it making it a different outcome would be fantastic. So, what is something that I could do that would make a 1% difference? And maybe I want more than that. And that's okay. I can want more than that. I give myself permission to have more effect than that. But I also accept that 1% is enough and it does make a difference. And if I have days where that's all I've got to give it to it, then I will feel good about that and feel proud about doing that too. So, where do I begin? How do I make a difference? The difference for my body. Well, there are a lot of things that I can think of that would make a difference. There's all the things that everyone talks about: diet and drinking water and exercising and stretching. And of course, tapping helps too. Just reducing stress alone is huge and allowing the body to do what it needs to heal. But I've known all these things. I'm still not very good at engaging them. So what's going to make this different? How can I make this a true shift for me? What if I chose something that was small, easy, quick, and fun? What if I find a way to make it enjoyable for myself? What if instead of giving myself another task, what if it's just something that I enjoy and it has a good outcome? Enjoying my shift, enjoying the process of my shift. Maybe it's giving myself a reward. Maybe I connect it with something that makes me laugh. Maybe I connect it with something that just feels really good. Whatever it is, I can figure it out because I know it feels good to me. And I give myself permission to have that thing that feels good to me while I'm looking to make this other thing feel better. It makes sense. It's giving myself more support. And isn't that what I'm looking for? To give my body support? Allowing myself to have fun and enjoyment for healing. And as I learn and explore this new ability to allow myself things that feel good, as I figure out how to support my body in making very small shifts that do affect the outcome, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I choose to celebrate even the tiniest bit of influence that I have over this because I enjoy acknowledging the collaboration between my mind and my body. Okay. Hmm, that felt nice. Okay, heading back over to the chat. We've got enough time for one more. Okay. Oh, good, Carrie. I'm glad that touching lighter is feeling better for you. I saw a question. I'm trying to find it now. I glanced over and saw it. Oh, there it is. Gail. Top of the head, optional. All the points are optional. The important thing is that you're tapping on a point. If you stayed here for the entire session, then you're still going to get releases because the what it's doing on every single point is sending a signal to the brain. So if there's a point where you're like, "Ooh, I don't like that," or you're like, "I just prefer to stay here the whole time," then you're good because you're still sending that signal to the brain. Now, there is some deeper philosophy in the different points target different meridians and what all that leads into. But as far as strictly speaking EFT, any point is a good point. You just need to really be on a point because there was testing between actual points and pseudo points, and the pseudo points did not have the same outcome. So as long as you are on a point, then you're good. If you're talking about in the tapping challenge, Dawson doesn't use the top of the head. That's human error. He does use the top of the head. If you watch other videos of his, he does it for whatever reason. When he was recording those, he just forgot to say it. So maybe for him on that day, when he was doing those recordings, his body wasn't wanting the top of the head. Um, but again, it's totally fine to skip. There's no requirement other than a point. So I hope that's helpful. Oh, I love you guys so much. I really appreciate the comments and the letting me know where you are and the feedback. That's so wonderful. Thank you for the comments that you leave. Okay, what's coming to me in the next few minutes? I want to tap on the having a hard time saying no. Because I think that's a pretty common issue. So thank you, first of all, for bringing that up. And shoot, I don't remember who it was. I scrolled past it. Um, but I appreciate you for bringing that up because I think that that's a wonderful reminder for everybody is, holding your own power. And what are the reasons that we struggle to say no? There can be a lot of different basis for that from each person. So is it afraid, a fear of what the other person's response is going to be. Are you afraid they're going to be angry? Are you afraid they're going to reject you? Are you afraid that the only reason that they find value in you is because you please them, because you are agreeing with them? And if you're not agreeable, then you're not lovable, you're not worthy, then you'll be left alone, you'll be abandoned. There is a whole lot that can be behind the simple question of why is it hard to say no? But generally, it's tied to some sense of, I don't want to be alone. I'm afraid to stand up for myself. I don't want to be the only one who feels this way, um, which can tie into not showing up for yourself. And I don't say that with any judgment, say that with a lot of compassion because um, it's been my experience that a lot of people aren't shown how to show up for themselves. In fact, they're shown the complete opposite, that um, you find connection through showing up for other people and show up for yourself last. So please know you are not alone in this, and this is something that I have tapped extensively on, and still have further to go in it myself. So let's go ahead and begin tapping because I want to make sure we get a little bit into this. Um, so go ahead and focus in on a place where you feel uncomfortable saying no, um, giving someone something that you have an abundance of, giving your time to your family or your children when you really need some time for yourself, but you feel guilty saying no to them because it just feels scarce and everybody needs it. And how dare you keep it for yourself? Um, Saying no in a situation where you feel like the other person has more power than you. So how is it going to turn out for you if you know, oppose them? Whatever that looks like. And if you don't have anything current in your life, you can think back on something, maybe when you were a child. Even though I don't feel my power to say no when I want to, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I don't always feel like it's okay for me to say no when I want to say no, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I have feelings and confusion surrounding why it's hard for me to say no, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Saying no, choosing to say no, wanting to say no, feeling the word no in my body, the boundary of no for myself, the power of saying no and have it be respected. Acknowledging the difficulty of saying no. Acknowledging the feelings I have and the judgments I placed on myself when I wanted to say no and I didn't. Even though I have a lot of feelings about all the times I wanted to say no and I didn't. Feelings about the other people, feelings about myself. I choose to release those from myself right now. I choose to let them go. Even if tomorrow they start to build right back up, even if right now I don't have the solution for it, all of that past isn't helpful for me in figuring it out. So I choose to release it, even if it's the exact same and nothing changes right now. I choose to not judge myself through the filter of all of those past experiences. Releasing my past experiences of no. Well, that does feel better, but what about now? How do I begin finding my strength to say no? Can I just start speaking it? Well, that's a really big step. That's like the end step. And almost no process works that way. And learning to say no is a process. So maybe I can give myself a bit of a break and not expect it to be that simple or that quick or that easy. Okay? So accepting that learning to say no is a process. What's the first step? What is the first step in learning how to say no? Well, maybe the first step is information. Maybe the first thing I do is just start listening to myself. And I pay attention to when I want to say no. And I release myself of any pressure of actually saying no just yet. I mean, if I feel like it, great, I'll do it. But if I don't feel like I can say it yet, that's okay. I'm not there yet. I allow myself this first step of just becoming aware of when I want to say no. Once I have that, then I can start to look at it. I can look for patterns. I can look for reasons. I have something that I can start to address. And that can start to really empower me. So I can let go of my expectation to suddenly jump to the very end and just start at the beginning of this process. When do I want to say no? And why? And I don't even have to have the answer to that. Right now, I just want to find a clear line of communication with myself. Communication with my no. Allowing no space in myself. Even if no one else knows about my no, I am going to really get to know my no. And as I get clarity on wanting to say no, I allow myself to feel really good about that. I allow myself to feel empowered with this knowledge. And I allow myself to explore it in whatever way feels good to me. But first, I'm just going to acknowledge it and get a relationship with my own no. And as I gain this relationship with saying no within my own body, I deeply and completely accept myself. Hmm. Thank you for that. I enjoyed that. I don't think I've ever quite tapped on it in that way. So, yeah, that was fantastic. Let me know how that worked for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I know we went a few minutes over, but I totally feel like that was worth it. If you would like the video, it helps with the algorithm, it helps other people find this video and see it. Um, Please continue to leave comments, ask questions. Again, if you ever have a question or something you want to tap on and you don't feel comfortable putting it in a chat for everyone to see publicly, you can always email me. My email is amanda@eftuniverse.com. If it's something that you want to tap on in the next session, send it to me at least 24 hours in advance so that I'm just sure that I've seen it. And sometimes I may turn questions into videos that I post on the channel. So I post a new video every Friday. There is a playlist of those, and generally they're spurred on by conversations that I have with you. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for being here with me. Oh, this has been a good session. Um, I'll see you next week. Take care. Mwah. Bye.